Ain't nothing fake around here. You want to come up and stepping with these boys, you're going to get hurt.
We got to combine basketball, hockey, football. You got to be able to dribble the ball while you're getting hit. We some of the best athletes in the world.
You are 170 inches off the ground in Slamball.
Oh, that was assault battery. That's on your mama, boy.
You got to have desire. You got to have no fear.
You just got to have a screw loose playing this.
You got to have big balls for that position.
Now that's a power.
Heart, soul, just throw everything out on the court.
It's game time.
This is Slamball. No crybabies in here, man.
I love visionaries. I love dreamers. I love entrepreneurs. I love people who take action on their passion. Wrap that all up and you have Mason Gordon.
My name is Mason Gordon, and I created Slamball in a little warehouse in East LA in December of 2000. I always had these ideas of a sport that felt more like a video game.
Here's this guy who was, what, 28 years old, an intern from Mike Tolan, big film director, movie producer, and he's drawing on a napkin this crazy idea he had called Slamball. Most people would take that napkin and put it in an ashtray and say, get out of here, kid.
I finally took a look at it, and it was great because it was, first of all, it was original. It wasn't sort of a bastardized or scaled down version of an existing sport, which is the case of a lot of startup leagues.
I would go around to these gymnastics facilities and try to get spare parts, and I ended up building the first Slamball court in East Los Angeles. From that court, we finally settled into our final configuration, which is a defensive trampoline and 3 perimeter offensive trampolines. And a lot of different players found all these different ways to link and combine those opportunities on the court into more and more complex strategies.
That led us to put together a full court, multi-tramp experience.
All of a sudden, I'm looking at this surreal atmosphere where all 8 players on the court look like Michael Jordan. They're all above the rim, and there's contact. It was way cool.
They're not really sure what they're doing, but man, this thing is kind of awesome.
Mike Tolan called a friend of his, and they came down, and we immediately got a television contract right there in the warehouse.
The first 2 seasons were exciting because you saw Mason's dream come to reality. You saw these players with these high-flying, slam-dunking, quick-moving, hard-contacting activities right there in front of you.
I think the most important thing about the first season of Slamball was that you really saw guys emerge that were just born to do this. They were born to play this game. And then the second season, we found this amazing group of top-tier defensive talent, and they really stepped up where the bar was for you to be able to score and score consistently. And some people were able to meet that bar, and some people weren't. Well, in Slamball, you basically got 3 positions. You got the handler, the gunner, and the stopper. The handler is typically the quarterback on the floor, the point guard, usually has the ball in his hands, is asked to make key passes, is asked to make plays for his teammates on offense.
The key is, as a handler, can you motivate your team? Do guys want to play for you? Do they want to play with you? Do you do the little things?
Josh Carlson just got a motor. This motor just keeps running, keeps going.
He seems like he's always around the ball, or he always has something to do with the score if he's not scoring himself.
Josh is extremely valuable to his team. He's going to bring the ball up the floor. He's an exceptional passer. He sees the floor well. And that type of player is also like a Michael Goldman. You get the same thing. He's going to bring the ball up the floor. You're not going to find a better passer in the game. And he really makes his team better by distributing the ball.
Mike Goldman comes back, cock diesel, strong, with a good attitude, ready to play.
Imagine a Backstreet Boy on creatine. Like, This guy has packed on so much muscle. He's so much stronger than he was before, but he hasn't lost a step. He's as fast as he ever was. He's as productive as he ever was. And his passing, second to none. Corey Beeshold has the makings of a star.
He's healthy and he's out there right now and he looks amazing. He's just tearing it up.
Even within every position, there's different sizes, different ways guys play. Jelani Janice, who plays for the Rumble, as a handler, he's still probably the best defender and maybe the most physical guy in the league.
Well, I consider myself to be a quiet leader, a quiet assassin. I let my play dictate. I don't really talk a whole lot out there on the court. I kind of just let my actions go out there and dictate how things go.
Jelani is, I feel, the best Slamball player on the planet, hands down.
Kind of look to score, and then also I'm kind of look to kind of lead this team. So I have a variety of roles that I've actually taken on, and I take it with open arms.
The gunner position is the person who's going to do all the scoring.
It's the gunner's job to get out on the break and score the ball by any means necessary.
Those are the high flyers, the ones that get in the tramps, they jump up and down.
They want to take that ball to the hoop. They want to jam the ball, the stopper, and anybody else who gets in their way through that hoop and make those points. They'll give their body up.
You got to be a little nuts upstairs to just really fly through the air like that.
Me personally, the best gunner in the league, obviously Stan Fletcher.
My name is Stan Fletcher, AKA Shakes. I play for the Marlins, 28 years old.
Stan Fletcher, the joke is that he's from a planet where they already had Slamball.
You know, he's the best player in the league.
He is the Michael Jordan of this here.
Well, Stan is special in the fact that there's never been anybody that I think the sport has been so well fit for, because he's so natural on the tramps.
It was like taking a fish that was flopping around on the land and putting it in the water, and it just went. And that was Stan.
I watch some of the things he does, and I'm like, why can't I do that? And you just look at it and marvel, like, Stan was really made for this game.
Chris Young, the Ghetto Bird, is relentless at attacking the rim.
A. White, he's a gunner that runs 6'7", and he's got a wingspan of like 9 feet 2 inches.
He let his game speak for himself. He don't bull. That's A. White.
Garrett, simply put, he is a monster.
LaMonica Garrett, San Francisco, California.
He's a beast.
I'm an athlete at heart. Played football, my whole life. The mentality of playing linebacker, it's contact every play.
I think he's definitely one of the most feared people in Slamball. If you had to choose somebody to bang into all game long, it definitely wouldn't be him.
That's my claim to fame, is recklessness. And when I don't give a damn about my body, I damn sure don't give a about you. That's what's scary.
In addition to LaMonica Garrett, you've got Sean Jackson, who's one of the most creative players in Slamball, who's really found a new role as an all-around team guy, and who's tremendously effective from a scoring and a defensive perspective. Scotty Campbell, it looks like he's going to be as dominant as anybody on the offensive end.
He's starting to step up his game a little bit, taking on a leadership role for us. He is our team captain. He's a great guy to have your back.
I'm just out here trying to win. That's it. If people ask me to do flips and 360s, I ain't doing that. I'm gonna put the ball in the hole. If I gotta come from the side tramp, top tramp, two tramp, I'm putting the ball in the hole.
Then you have the stopper. The stopper is reminiscent of a goalie in hockey or soccer.
Those are the guys that are mean and nasty when they wake up and when they go to sleep. They smell bad, they look bad, they're big, strong guys who are going to do exactly what their position says, stop people.
Come in my house, there's nothing.
Usually the stoppers are the bigger guys in the league because they use their body to try to, muscle guys around, and they take a beating back there. There's really good stoppers. Adam Hooker, who is unbelievable what he does because he's not that big, but he's just very acrobatic on the tramps and he's got incredible timing.
You know, he's getting slammed into by a guy who's turning his body into a missile going at the rim. And he puts himself up in front of that rim every play. Takes that contact, blocks the ball, and bounces back up and gets back in the game.
Mentality of a stopper. I think it's a mentality of not caring. I mean, you have to not care to get between a guy and the rim. You have to not care to take a knee to the chest. You have to not care to get dunked on. It's going to happen.
Also, the stopper gets an opportunity to come down and lay the lumber, such as what George Bird does sometimes, lays the lumber and goes in hard to dunk on somebody.
To play my position, you have to be a little bit crazy. You have to have a total disregard of your body. If you're not ready for contact, then it's definitely the wrong sport for you. I love contact.
Lockjaw Dave Redmond, who played for the Rumble last year, he moved to the Maulers this year, so this is kind of his chance to shine. And he's kind of got the talent and the ability to be unbelievable.
David Redmond, one of the first guys that I recruited to play Slamball, 6'9", 250 pounds, fearsome defensive presence. He can block with both hands. He's a load down there.
You gotta have big balls for that position. If you ain't got no balls, man, you're getting crammed on every time, no matter what. To me, it's the best position because you control the game.
Inside the slam zone here, which is basically the inside of the three-point line, you've got 4 7x14 Aussie bed springs that propel players up to 17 feet off the ground in order to attack the rim.
In basketball, the largest the Z-axis has ever been is about 55 inches. You are 170 inches off the ground in slam ball. So think about the kind of creativity, the kind of air, the kind of beauty that you can get out of this game with your God-given athletic ability.
What a lot of people don't know about slam ball is that this X is 15 feet from the basket. So guys in slam ball are taking off from the free throw line and out. So that distance is actually a lot to cover. Then you have a furthest distance to attack from about 17, 18 feet. And this is the first season that we're really seeing guys attacking from this angle. You can see down here we use 10-inch jumbo gymnastic springs. 118 of these bad boys on each one of these spring beds. And that's really what powers the game. The island is a low post passing area. The idea in basketball is that you dump the ball down to the offensive player on the post and then you can cut off him and work off him for the offense. In slam ball, the entire area inside the three-point line is comprised of these spring beds. So we try to make it so that teams can make an interior pass and then cut off that pass in order to make a play. They'll use the island to that effect. So guys will often send a cutter in there, they'll make a pass, and then the guy on the island has to be in and out of there in 3 seconds. Things have to move very, very fast. So when we set up slam ball, every time there was a bad pass, the ball would fly out of bounds. Finally, the idea came about, hey, why don't we just cover the whole thing with glass like they do in hockey?
That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of
Now, every bad pass in slam ball becomes this non-stop dive to get to the ball and this non-stop hustle and effort. What people find really fascinating about slam ball is how hard people play and how much effort goes into getting after these loose balls. These hockey walls contain all the action, both with the ball and also with the physicality. We're really excited about the coaching situation this year.
He didn't dribble, so there's no contact if there's no dribbling.
Sing! You gotta sing! Now come on, let's go! Pick up! He's flopped you into calling that.
We've got coaches coming down with some pretty impressive resumes.
You are blind! He was out already! Ask him if it's a face-off. I need to know what the situation is.
Go to the rim and go duck. Stop pussyfoot!
My name's Kenny Anderson from Queens, New York. I went to Archbishop Malloy High School, had a blessed high school career. I went on, got a scholarship to Georgia Tech, played there for 2 years, and went in the draft, the 1991 NBA draft, the #2 pick.
This guy comes here and he's so professional. Work ethic is like second to none. He's got this infectious enthusiasm that is really like spilling over on his players.
No, he can't do that and get his lead up. Damn! He did that about 5 times!
It's a blessing to have somebody that's played on such a high level, really want to be involved with what we have going on here. He comes here because he wants to, not because he has to.
It's good to have him because when we were working out, he has that mindset of an NBA player.
You gotta sing! Back! You gotta dribble!
Well, I'm a photographer, professional photographer and Slamball coach. Yeah, one of the originals.
Coach Stapleton's a smart man. He knows his X's and O's. He always puts us in a position to win. He's intent on getting us in shape this year.
Get on him right away! You have to dribble! Get him early! Get your shirt off! Run!
This guy is always trying to run some new play, some new wrinkle, some new kind of cut that teams haven't seen before.
My name is Coach Ken Carter. I'm from Richmond, California. Well, my coaching career started many years ago. I was able to always take the worst team and turn them into champions.
Come on now! Get off the floor! Come on! Listen, referee the game then! Come on, referee the game!
Coach Carter is definitely a motivator of this game. Everyone who's on his team loves him. Everyone who's not on his team hates him. He's a motivator in life. He goes around the country speaking to hundreds and hundreds of people and motivates them on a different level.
Coach Carter's famous for taking bad attitude kids, smacking them around with a little bit of that Coach Carter discipline, and then forging them into effective teams.
My name is Brendan Kirsch, and I'm the head coach of the Mob. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and kind of was born and raised in basketball country.
Who's down there? Who's standing? That's 6 calls. Look at the film.
Coach Kirsch is he's an X's and O's guy. He's real detail-oriented. He's real stickler for, being on time.
Brendan Kirsch lives and breathes Slamball in a way that's really heartening to all the people that are involved in the sport. This is a guy that spends his downtime doodling on napkins in the restaurant and trying to come up with new plays and new defensive philosophies.
Guess what? You're determining the game. Chris! Came from the island! You are single-handedly killing us!
I just fell absolutely in love with the sport. I think it's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. I think it's the future of sports. I would much rather coach this over basketball any day.
My name is Rocket Ismail. The team I am a part of is the Bouncers.
The cats who know how to not flick, they don't care about all the stuff that's happening out here. What? I intentionally made it call because I don't like you. What?
Slamball is fun. I mean, to me, fun is a huge part of being involved with something. If you're going to be involved with something, you may as well have fun. That, to me, was something that I really wanted to be a part of.
You get the ball, you go to the hole. Every time. Every time, go.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
If you get taken on your ass every single time, go down. But go in there f***ing aggressive.
John Starks brings an NBA All-Star pedigree to Slamball. He brings like the ultimate kind of fierce underdog mentality.
Stop trying to do that. Go up.
We got 5 minutes to bring this home.
And to have John Starks here and to be hanging out with him, throwing him alley-oop passes and stuff like that, it's kind of a dream come true.
I'm not saying a word to anyone, including you.
Basic violations in Slamball that you need to know about are first and foremost taking off going into the tramps.
Outside on the slam ball court is a full contact environment. It's very difficult to put the ball on the floor. It's very difficult to move against this kind of full contact pressure. But once your back foot has come off the floor going into the tramp, the defense can't touch you at all. So you get this great situation where a defender will be running to hit a guy with the ball, but then his back foot comes off the floor and they have to put their hands up and get out of the way.
You know, you can see some fantastic hits, but we don't really want to see that because we want the sport to be, while being violent, safe.
In other sports, a violation usually has a remedy. In football, they give up yards. In basketball, there's a free throw. But there's nothing free in slam ball. When a foul occurs in slam ball, the two players that were involved in the altercation, the player who got fouled will get the ball at midcourt and go one-on-one with the guy who fouled him.
It's a one-on-one penalty shot where the offensive player or the player who's been fouled will take the ball at half court. He has the tramp of his choosing. He's going to run at it. He's going to jump and try to dunk the ball. Now the defensive player will bounce from one bed into the lower scoring bed and go up to meet a player at his apex at the rim to potentially block his dunk attempt.
So there's a real revenge element, a real opportunity to get some payback for a really dirty hit.
At any given time during a game, obviously, we are counting the fouls of one team versus another team. If a team fouls 4 times, that 4th foul is going to be the bonus penalty. And that means we still have our face-off, but the only change that happens is on a normal face-off, make or miss, the offensive team retains possession of the ball. On the bonus penalty, if the defender is successful in blocking the offensive player's dunk attempt in the face-off, the ball will go the other way.
After the 4th face-off, we get into the penalty situation. In a penalty situation, any foul after that penalty threshold results in 1 penalty point on the board for the team, and then the team receives the ball back as well. Scoring in slam ball moves very, very quickly. Guys try to pile up the points as they fast break up and down the court.
It's a game where we attribute more points for the dunk attempt and the completion. Obviously in basketball, 2 points is a made bucket. Doesn't matter what kind of flair you put on it, what you do to put the ball in the basket, it's 2 points. Unless, of course, you take a shot behind a dedicated three-point line. We have the three-point line, which you can shoot behind. We have definitely shooting prowess, but we also reward getting there. We mean if you have the guts, have the ability to take off from one of those outside beds, fly through the air, you know, hurtling at a 250-pound stopper who is happy to meet you, and you could get that ball through the hoop. Force it through the hoop, stick your elbow through the hoop, do whatever you want to do, we'll give you 3 points for that. So a dunk completion is 3 points. Anything else off a tramp would be 2 points.
As far as the stoppers go, there's a lot of rules on what they can and can't do. The most important is drifting.
Stoppers, when they go to make a play at the rim, they have to go straight up in a vertical plane. A lot of stoppers like to cheat the game by jumping straight forward into the guy, and that can result in a situation that we don't want to see.
If the stopper would have landed outside that scoring tramp, that's drifting. If the stopper does come outside the scoring tramp and lands on the island or lands on the pads, that's drifting.
Another basic rule of Slamball is what's called popcorn. Popcorn can be, you know, defensive or offensive. Normally the call that you see is defensive.
Popcorn is when one player completely juices the springs of the tramp bed and another player comes in just after him. And when the first player comes in and juices the springs and starts to go up, the second player is also starting to juice those springs, and all of the energy in the tramp is transferred into the second player. And the second player is shot about 10 times higher than he normally would be.
Normally when I jump on a trampoline, I can control my bounce. If somebody jumps in there with me, because there's 2 sets of feet in the bed, it totally throws off any momentum I have coming out of the bed, and that would normally be a violation.
A lot of players are starting to link springs together in a move called the chaser, which Stan Fletcher invented in order to get around existing rules. One of the rules is you can't bounce with the ball twice. A player would bounce in one bed, toss it to himself, and then go in and finish.
Another rule you need to be aware of is 2 in the
at the same time, the refs would wave it off and call 2 in the tramp violation, i.e. 2 offensive players cannot be on the scoring bed at the same time.
Slamball is up-tempo, mobile, agile, hostile. Guys fly up and down this court with a 20-second shot clock, so they're always pressed to push the tempo and make a play at the other rim. You can't hit a guy in the back, you can't take out a guy's leg, but other than that, it's full contact, anything goes.
I'm really excited about today, Slamball today. You can learn from yesterday and you can look toward tomorrow, but you gotta live for today. Carpe diem, seize the day, slam bam the basketball into that hoop. That's what this game's all about.
Slamball, baby, nothing like it in the world, nothing.
It's amazing to me the way that Slamball has evolved, from being in a little warehouse to now bringing in great coaching minds from all these different disciplines.
Well, I think everybody's waiting for the future of Slamball. Everybody's always waiting for the future of Slamball. This should give us the launching pad we need, and hopefully 20 years from now we're looking back thinking, wow, it's amazing we got here from there.